it's star green. I want to talk about the Cancer new moon, which is July the 9th at 6:16 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 9:16 p.m. That's Eastern Daylight Time on July the 10th at 1:16 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. All right, now I'm actually shooting this out of a Mountain Astrologer magazine, so excuse the impromptu-ness of this. I've been running behind all week. So the Cancer new moon, of course, is governed by the moon. The moon rules Cancer, and so the moon is in her home sign, very happy. All new moons are new intentions, new beginnings. We're in the dark of the moon, the most mysterious, internal, reflective, womb-like sign of the moon. So every year there's only one Cancer new moon, so this would be considered the darkest womb space to sit in all year. So do take advantage of that. I know many of us are sick of being alone and isolated, but this is a very appropriate time to really go into the room, okay? Now you may want to work with crystals that work with the moon, like a blue, any blue colored crystal that's an aura crystal, seashells, Venus, things about Venus, because she's related to the moon. Now, the sun and the moon are at 18 degrees of Cancer. They have passed, the sun has passed, and the moon has passed Sirius at 12 degrees of Cancer. And it's quite a complex new moon here. Uranus at 14 degrees Taurus is sextiling the sun and the moon, bringing in an earthy, sensual, unpredictable, chaotic energy. They're both very feminine signs. Feminine is not gender. It means internal, receptive polarity. Okay, so the ability to go through major changes and free things up and let things flow downstream and let go of any old emotional issues that have been clogging up your drains, clogging up, backed up in your stomach and your upper digestion. The Cancer rules the tummy. Any stomach upsets you've been having, or any energy tension that you've been feeling in your shoulders and your back, you want to sit in a nice tub. This is the most appropriate time to do a big Cancer new moon cleansing. Would be at this new moon cleansing with sea salt, or better yet, go into the ocean if you can, or any moving body of water would be good. Let's see what else is going on here. Okay. There is a fiery grand trine going on here from Chiron at 12 degrees of Aries, trining the south node at 10 degrees of Sagittarius with Juno, the goddess of feminine genius, also conjunct the south node. So there's some really good genius energy to tap in there. Those two are also on the fixed star Antares, which is the rival of Mars, also called the angel Ariel. So there's some nice angelic energy to tap into there if you want to do some healing of your wounded child. Cancer rules the child, the womb, the mother-child bond, the mother and child reunion. There's so much child slavery out there. It would be really good to send energy for healing of all the children. Right now we're still in slavery, sex slavery, and for time we need to do that for everybody else. Now, Chiron, Juno, the sacred goddess of wisdom, her symbol is the peacock. She sees in all directions, and the south node in Sagittarius. Wisdom, gypsies, international, traveling, teaching, publishing. Mysticism is also trining Venus and Mars, who are getting ready to have their very rare, very special union on July the 13th at 19 degrees of Leo. So they are bringing in the love, bringing in the heart, bringing in the courage, bringing in the daring, bringing in the heart power. Leo rules the heart. Bringing in leadership. I am woman, hear me roar. Cancer rules mothers, women, all of this nice fiery healing energy coming in. So I definitely want to take advantage of that. Now, Chiron is also squaring the sun and the moon again. So the accent is really on healing the wounded child. I think a lot of old emotional issues have been coming up now to be healed. So you want to clarify them. You want to sit with them. You want to let the tears flow. Cancer new moon could be very emotional, very moody. Just because it's a new moon doesn't mean that it won't be as emotional, because it is in the sign of Cancer. It will be. Okay. Neptune is also trining the sun and the moon at 23 degrees of Pisces retrograde, sitting with Athena, the goddess of wisdom. But Neptune is really the one that's trining the sun and the moon. So our dreams, our psychic energy, our intuition, our imagination, the ability to take flights of fantasy, the ability to project, addictions, releasing old addictions, old bondages, whether they be, usually they're emotional, spiritual, emotional, mental, and then physical, working to release the old bonds. Pisces is in some ways, as ruling the 12th sign, the 12th house, is the house in the sign of karmic bondage, so we can release ourselves, we can love ourselves. This is the new moon of bringing in unconditional mother love. And the sacred womb energy, which is not the same as a physical womb. According to Incan teachings, sacred teachings that I've been delving into with Maureen Walton, who's really the one who's been trusted or karmically, I believe, indebted to carry on these secret teachings, which we're putting back together. The womb is holy. It is the only organ on the planet that souls can land in, so it is the most holy place, but it is pure in itself. The surrounding the womb is our emotional, the rapes, the sexual abuse, the emotional abuse, that's what needs to be cleansed, but not the womb itself. It is holy and immaculate, which means pure. There is some truth in the Bible around Mary. She was a sacred parthenogenic priestess. She self-conceived, and women could always do that, and they still can, to give birth to avatars. Now, so Neptune, tune into your dreams, your visions, work with healing your addictions, work with clarification. Jupiter is still in Pisces, which is one of the signs it rules, along with Sagittarius moving back out of Pisces on the 28th, but really do enjoy Jupiter's blessings while he's in Pisces, although it also makes us feel very kind of lost and foggy and not wanting to get things done. So as much as you need to rest and reflect around this moon, do also on a Cancer new moon, it's all about food. It's all about being at home. It's all about family, getting together with family, hugging. Many people are getting together now for the first time with their family in over a year. Sentimentality, all of that, and sentimentality for people we've lost. Cancer is the sign of birth, but the other sign of water sign is Scorpio. Now there's nothing really in Scorpio right now that we're alluding to, but it's always there as a kind of a shadow aspect. Now, Pluto and Neptune are also sextile each other. So a number of planets are making these sextile aspects. What else? Lilith, the powerful goddess, the first woman, is at the 29th, the most powerful degree of Taurus right now, conjunct to Algol along with Ceres. So that's really an interesting combination of Ceres and Lilith, conjunct Algol, because they represent the archetypes of the mother and the whore. And this is also a very, very important aspect to work out to balance. The women should not be separated into being these unconditionally loving, like what Christianity projected onto Mary, that she was a sexual virgin when she was not, and that otherwise women are whores. So that split in the male psyche needs to be healed. That's just fear of women's sexuality, okay? And women need to reclaim that, their wholeness in themselves. Eris is also squaring the sun and the moon. She's always moving very slow. She's at 24 degrees of Aries, also squaring Pluto. So Pluto is in a wide opposition to the sun and the moon, but it's still there. So again, plutonic energy, toxic energy, radiation, the 1%, the plutocrats, there's still a battle now between where we are, the people. Cancer is very much the sign of the people, the home, our roots, our foundations, our ancestors, the bones. Cancer is traditionally the sign of birth and death as well, endings. What we need to make us feel emotionally safe, and how safe do we feel with these big plutocrats out in the world sort of legislating what we should and shouldn't do. So just to think about that in many ways. Now, the asteroid goddess Vesta, that represents investments. So if you have money in the bank, if you have any money, you worship that goddess Vesta. It represents the sacred flame of focus, of keeping your dedication. She's been turned into a Vestal virgin that was not actually what she was. She was dedicated to the goddess, and every woman in ancient Rome had to serve for a year in her temples as a sacred sexual priestess, healing men from war by embodying the goddess, where if they've shed profane blood, they had to be cleansed through sacred sexuality with these priestesses, Vestal priestesses, before they could integrate back into society. And that's how the ancients dealt with PTSD. They know way more than we do. So Vesta, what do you invest in? What do you want to invest in? It's opposite Neptune and Athena, the goddess of wisdom, and squaring Mercury at 27 degrees of Gemini. Also a very powerful point, because that is the point of the North Pole and where the fixed star Betelgeuse is. So think about what you're investing your energy in. Vesta is in Virgo, the earth, the body, the sign of health, the sign of work and service to other people. So is your work and service really in service to spirit? Are you working in a way that's compassionate for the whole of all? Does your work give back? These are very important questions to ask. And how can you innovate and strategize and bring that in new ways? Now, we haven't talked about Saturn. Saturn is actually opposite Venus and Mars as they're in their sacred marriage there and squaring Uranus. So basically this big powerful Saturn-Uranus square is the one that we've been feeling all the tension with, and then Mars and Venus opposite that. So again, Mars and Venus, I'm going to do a workshop on the 13th, which I'm inviting you to join me, about this very unique, very rare sacred marriage. Venus and Mars get together once every 2 years to meet in Leo, the sign of the heart, the sign of courage and daring and strength and power, and beauty and creative self-expression and willpower, childlike innocence is really powerful. So there's Saturn and Christ asking us to innovate, to bring in something new, squared by Uranus and Taurus, change the way we see our bodies, change the way we work with technology. There's a big little grassroots, I think people wanting to get away from technology, we're balancing it. Where is our heart in all of this? Where is the love in all of this? We don't want to be into a totally cold, sterile, technologically run world. At least I don't. So all of that is coming up. North Node, 10 degrees of Gemini. That's where we need to go. That's where the intention is. Again, sextiling Venus and Mars. So all the planets are in quite harmonious aspects in a way. Lilith is going to enter Gemini in the next few days. That's a whole other thing. But I do invite you to join me. When Venus and Mars come together, it is the sign of as above, so below. It is the sign of alchemy. And so if you're looking to create a relationship, a lover, call in your beloved, this is the time to do it. This is sacred alchemy. So please join me online, live on Zoom, July the 13th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. You can sign up on my website at tarottarot.com. It's $33 Canadian. Bring your astrology chart. I will be answering your questions. I'll be explaining what Venus and Mars mean in your chart, and also leading an alchemical marriage ceremony. Because if you want to attract that sacred marriage or your soulmate outside of yourself, you have to marry yourself within. It is definitely like the symbol of the lovers in the tarot. So please join me for that. I'm looking forward to doing that one as well. So if you want to get in touch with me, I am at tarottarot.com. Please follow me on my blog at infinitynow.wordpress.com. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on TikTok. So sending you many, many blessings for this new moon.